Do you remember me? I am a disabled alien girl you had made with once back on your planet when the sun was setting, and the sky looked like fire. But you probably don't remember, because to you it was just one of those things, one of those days, one of those fleeting human moments you touch and forget. But I never forgot, I never could, because that day changed me, and maybe it changed you too, even if you never look back. I was nothing back than no one, just a broken winged outcast limping across the edge of your mining outpost, wearing the wrong kind of clothes, and breathing through a cracked translator that garbled half my thoughts. But you saw me, or at least you looked at me, and you didn't walk away, you offered me water, not realizing my kind couldn't drink it, not like that, not from metal, not without purification, not without shame. But I took it, and you smiled, and the translator sparked, and I think I said thank you, though it might have come out as sorry. Your camp was full of strong men, loud men who joke about alien girls and threw sharp things at rocks. But you were quiet, more tired than most. Your eyes were red like rust, and your hands always shook just a little. You said you fought somewhere worse before this, before they sent you here to dig and watch and survive. I asked you what was worse than this, and you just looked at me and said Earth. It happened on the third evening, after you found me in the crater. I had fallen there, after storm my left leg twisted the wrong way, and my breathing mask crushed you, lifted me with both arms, grunting like a bear, and I remember thinking you smelled like crushed trees, and saw you took me inside your unit steel box full of strange warmth and humming machines. And you gave me food, real food, not emergency rations, not nutrient dust that tastes like grease, and spice and something close to kindness. I don't know if you meant for it to happen the way it did. Maybe you just felt lonely, maybe you thought I wouldn't live past a week, or maybe you just want to feel alive again, to feel something, anything in this frozen place. And maybe I did too, maybe my body broken, and exiled, still ached to be touched, to be seen, not as a disabled one, not as a mistake, but as someone. You asked if it hurt, and I laughed, because it always hurt, but not your touch was soft, unsure, respectful, like you expected me to say no at any moment. And I couldn't, I want to forget for a little while that my wings would never grow back, that my clan had left me behind because I couldn't fly or fight or sing, and you didn't care about any of that, you just looked into my eyes like I mattered. We were quiet afterward, the kind of quiet that presses on your chest. You sat at the edge of the bed, back turned. As if ashamed, I remember trying to reach out, but my arm wouldn't move, not like it used to, and you must have thought I was asleep or gone, because you whispered something, then something I wasn't meant to hear. You said sorry, and something else, something about a promise you couldn't keep. When I woke up, you were gone, not just in the bed or the room, but the entire camp. The others said you got called back, transferred, or maybe reassigned to a hotter front. They said you never looked back, never said goodbye, and I believed them, because I waited 3 more days, 3 more nights, hoping you would return, and each time the door opened, my heart cracked again, until it finally stopped trying. Months passed, I recovered slowly alone. My leg rebuilt by black market medics, my breathing mask upgraded by traders who never asked questions. I wandered planet to planet, searching for someone who probably forgot my face, until I stopped searching. Because what was the point? I told myself it was nothing, just one night, one broken moment in the dust. But I was wrong. Because something grew inside me, a spark, a heartbeat. That wasn't mine, not fully. I felt it every night, stronger, each cycle my body, adapting, shifting, protecting. I thought I was dying until a healer scanned me and blinked 3 times before whispering human. I left that clinic in silence, my mind spinning. I didn't even know if it was possible, but the proof lived inside me, and it kicked like thunder by the second month. My kind would never accept it. They barely accepted me, as I was broken, flightless burden now. I carried a child of another species. And not just any species, but yours, the ones we once feared, the ones they said were wild, dangerous, unstoppable. But they never told me you could be gentle or quiet or scared just like us. I hid for a long time, raised her in shadows far from any counsel or patrol, teaching her to blend and to speak. Both our tongues, to mask her strange skin and stronger bones. She grew fast, laughed often, reminded me of you in ways that hurt. She asked once who her father was, and I said he was a warrior from the stars who saved my life and left like smoke. I told myself it was enough, but she never stopped asking. Then one day she found an old photo in my storage unit, a blurry image from your camp, the only one I kept. She stared at it for hours, then asked again, and this time I told her your name. We searched. Years passed, she got stronger, braver, more stubborn, just like you, and eventually we found a hint, a record, a deployment note that led us here to the station, this dusty outpost on the edge of nowhere. And there you were, older, scarred, thinner maybe, but it was no doubt in my heart or hers. You didn't recognize us, not at first. You stared at her longer than me, maybe, because she looked more like you than she should have. And when I stepped forward, you flinched until I said your name and asked, do you remember me? You looked like you were about to lie, to say no, to brush past us like ghosts, but then your eyes narrowed and your lips trembled and you whispered the words I waited years to hear. I remember. You pulled me close, not knowing if you should, but doing it anyway, and a hug felt like coming home, like safety, like grief. Then you turned to her, our daughter, and fell to your knees like the world had ended or maybe just begun. She smiled and said hello, father, in your tongue perfectly. We stayed that night in your quarters. You cooked something awful, but we ate it anyway. You asked so many questions, and I answered all of them slowly, painfully. But honestly, you said you never stopped thinking about me, that they took you away by force, that you tried to return. But the war had moved, and so had I, and after a while you believed it was a dream. But dreams don't grow into little girls with sharp minds and brave hearts. You offered to come with us to leave the outpost to help raise her, and I laughed because it was so sudden and so right and so impossible. And yet I said yes, and she said yes, and we left together, no longer alone, no longer lost. We traveled system to system, keeping low, avoiding politics and patrols, living like nomads, like ghosts with fire in our hearts. We taught her to fix ships, to speak lies, to dodge patrols, and find beauty in ruins. She grew taller, stronger, more human every day, but her heart remained alien enough to understand me and soft enough to forgive you. Sometimes at night she asked if you ever really loved me, or if it was just a moment of weakness, and you always say the same thing. You say love doesn't need working legs or working wings, it just needs 2 people willing to hold on. And I believe you, because now when I look at her, I see both of us not broken, not unwanted, not forgotten, but chosen, made from stardust and pain, and something better, something lasting. You once said you were just a soldier, that you didn't believe in fate or destiny. But I do. Because you found me when no one else would, because you touched me when I thought I was untouchable, because you left but fate dragged us back together, and now we are more than survivors, we are family. So yes, you remember me, and now the whole galaxy will remember us, not as a soldier and a disabled girl, but as something no war could erase.